Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. My name is Christian.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
And I need to apologize for the last 3 weeks. I'm trying to be a prominent member of a PC gaming podcast, but I don't play any video games anymore. I'm so fucking busy. I finally did play some this week, so that's good. And also last week I was so tired I don't even remember doing the podcast. Right after the podcast, I slept for 4 hours, so that was great. But yeah, I was super tired. I woke up, I fucking did the podcast, went back to bed. And I'm not gonna say it's not gonna continue too, because I might buy a house for an investment property, and if that happens, I'm gonna be ultra busy for 2 months, trying to get it all ready for renting and stuff. And it's an hour and a half away, so that makes things even harder.
You guys have to rip out the inside and redo it, or
what's it's not nothing crazy. Paint and maybe some new what do you call it? Like air conditioners, appliances, and new furniture.
I thought you were going to say ductwork, and I'm like, oh geez.
Yeah.
You're such an estate owner, Emilio. You're such
We'll see, man. It is an acre. It is an estate almost.
Oh wow.
I couldn't imagine Emilio as a fucking landlord.
It's not
whatever. You can't pay it? No, it's fine. It's good.
No worries about it, man. Just pay it when you got the money.
Yeah.
Grow something on these acres.
Yeah. All right. You guys, what's going on in your lives? Christian, we haven't talked to you. Have you been around? I can't tell.
Yeah, I haven't been around. No. I got off 2 super busy weeks at work because it was Gamescom and then PAX. Both attended, and I'll talk about a little bit of it later, but I haven't had a lot of time to play games. Sorry?
You went to Gamescom?
No, but I was doing work for Gamescom, but I did go to PAX, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're going to talk about that a little later, yeah?
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Oh, and I just had one of the worst shits of my life, so that's where I'm at mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, you have a nice poker face, dude. You're not showing any of it,
Thanks.
And that's what's important.
It's all below the belt of the problems, though, So.
Anything new, Bobby, Nick?
Nothing new in my life. I'm still going to school. That's been pretty interesting. Schoolwork hasn't been too time consuming. It's about an extra hour and a half to 2 hours of work a day, so not too bad.
Nice. Yeah, I'm off to a good start so far. Beginning of the school year, it's always crazy, but all things considered, it's actually been pretty smooth. So I'm doing okay. Doesn't mean I'm not unbearably busy, but it's still not as bad as it was last year.
Yeah, well, it was your first year last year. You're not only did you have a lot of work, but you're learning the executive side of the school district.
Yeah, well, we had some problems last year. We had a crisis or two that we had to deal with.
But you didn't have crises this year because you're on the team now. See?
Yeah. I mean, fingers crossed. I keep saying that. I'm just like, oh boy, something's going to happen. But I don't know. We're 3 weeks in, so it's pretty good. I'm in a new position, and the guy who is filling my old position starts on Monday, so I can start handing off some.
Did you get a promotion?
Yeah, sort of like a month or two ago. Yeah, I moved up to a new position. I'm climbing the corporate ladder. Yeah, but this guy, so he emails me last week and he's like, I just want to get a general idea of your day to day and your responsibilities. And I responded with what I would call a short novel, I guess. And I'm hoping I didn't scare him off, because this is actually a lateral move for him. It's not really a step up. I mean, he won't have to run around as much, and he'll be able to do it'll be a good segue if he wants to move into this department or move up. So it is technically good for him, but it wasn't like when I got this position, it was like a real big deal for me.
Hold on.
I love the conversational tone of this episode. I don't think we've talked at length about our lives to begin before. And I wanted to segue into video games, and I was thinking, have we ever talked about our first screen names? Is that a horse that's been beaten to death, what the first screen names we had were?
I mean, we have, but we can go, our first.
Or you mean our first screen names, or the ones we currently have?
No. The first one, I made mine as a kid, and it was so stupid. And I assume everyone's was stupid when they were a kid.
I mean, mine will not surprise you.
I was an adult. But go ahead.
When Yeah, I never really had a screen name. I would always just put Bobby, and then there'd be a bunch of numbers after it, and that was it.
That
Yeah.
doesn't
This is coming
surprise
from
me
the guy
at
who
all.
named himself Dwarf Paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much. And I remember Chad, like the first time Emilio and I were playing online, it was like, I think the first Borderlands and some TF2. And I remember Chad commenting on that when we were playing Borderlands, like, what's up with that screen name?
What
You
were the
still
numbers?
Bobby, blah blah blah. At that point,
The numbers
the
are
numbers important?
74213. No, that was from my AOL Instant Messenger, my AIM
Ooh.
days. Yeah, so I don't know. It was just a bunch of random numbers I came up with.
do you ever meet a girl on AIM, Bobby?
No, but I would like talk to my girlfriend at the time on AIM a lot.
Mhm.
But
committed
yeah, dude,
man.
AIM, dude, you don't even know. You young folk, you don't
Yeah.
even know, dude. AOL
Imagine-
Instant Messenger, ASL check. Hello.
thing you say.
Imagine all social media, all web browsers, and all internet access ISP was all one company. That was it. America Online did all of it. It was everything. Then-
Half of it
and-
didn't work, dude.
Yeah, and then Yahoo came in and then kind of
Oh, yeah.
shook things up.
Yahoo chat.
Yeah.
Then
Nick,
AT&T
first
came in
screen
as well.
name?
It was literally the letter N and then my last name.
What's
Well-
wrong with you guys? Oh, I guess like your
Well-
first email that you set up probably would be something.
No,
like that.
yeah, well, yeah, it was for like my mom had to make an email for me for school, and then it was like also a username for like chat, and I was like, what? And I'm like so young. I'm like, why do I need this? But as far as like gaming usernames, is the one that I made for you, like for RuneScape, and that's it. It's Killer Fuzz Zero.
Killer
you've been
Fuzz
using that for a
Zero.
long time.
Yeah, I
Is
had
that,
one
is
for a
that from the
long time.
movie Killer Fuzz?
No. What it was, I wanted to be a cop as a kid. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm also a killer. So Killer Fuzz Zero."
Wow. Wow.
That's ridiculous.
I love
Emilio, what was your first one?
I mean, there's multiple. You got to think, right? We were life adults, but internet children, you know?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the internet was new. My first email was Cyber Grifter. Grifter was like a comic book character.
Yeah.
99. Cyber Grifter 99 was my first. And then after that, I'm trying to think what the next thing was. I remember what it was. Oh, I guess it would be EverQuest, maybe, was the next one. And I really liked Omega Red in comic books as well. And so I think it was Omega Red. Yeah, it was Omega Red. That's what I went by for a long time. And yeah, that was it. And then at
Nice.
some point, I went by Logic, and another time I went by Ender, and then I put Ender's Logic together.
I had a bunch growing up too, but I used to play this Korean MMO, the free to play one, and you were
Maple
a mech.
Story?
No, you were like these mechs, and you like PvP'd over control of all these zones. There's like 100 or 200 people in one zone. It was pretty fun, but I had like this character that was shot long range missiles, so I named him Sniper Missile, and I spelled missile wrong, and then now it's just CNiper. That's how that came around. So,
Dude, thinking about spelling things wrong, I sold my City of Heroes account, because I had sold my EverQuest account twice. I sold the WoW account, I think. No, this is before WoW. And then I made a really strong fucking City of Heroes account, and I was like, oh, I can sell it. Well, I spelled it wrong. I spelled Heroes wrong. And so some guy just messaged me, and he goes, yeah, I had it on eBay. He goes, hey, man, something about your character? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, I want to let you know you spelled it wrong, so nobody's seeing your auction. He's like, but I'll give you $150 for it. And I was like, all right, deal. Cool. So I sold it.
sweet.
I've
Okay.
made like $3,000 on selling accounts.
You're such an
over the years.
entrepreneur, dude. You really are. I don't even mean that facetiously. Let's read some from chat. Got a funny one here. Trojan Explosion. That can't be real. That wasn't your
That
first
can't be
screen name.
real. That was
Get
your
out of here.
first-
Acid Burn. That's pretty cringe. I would agree that could be someone's And then Pyronical
Sounds like a
says,
hate crime, dude.
That sounds like something. Did you guys ever see that movie Hackers from the 90s?
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie. So her name was Crash Override, I think, was her
Oh my
hacker
God.
name. And then the main character was Zero Cool. That's what
Zero
Acid
Cool.
Burn reminds me of. And they all had funny names. Like one of them was like Cookie Monster or something, or I don't know.
Dude, a couple years ago, my brother went to me seriously, and he was like, "What do you think of my? What do you think of this new screen name? You know, he always just had his first name and last name, and he's like, what do you think of Copious Multitude?" And I was like, I don't know, dude. It seems a little philosophical.
Physical assault.
Anyways, games that are on our radar, games that have caught our attention, but that we have not played. Bobby's starting us off. What's up?
What's up? Entertain us, clown.
Dance,
monkey, dance.
Oh, we got our new show notes. When we got the order, we got to stick to the order. The game I want to talk about is 9 Parchments. So I finished Trine 3 this week. I'll talk about that later. But I realized there was another game that was made by Frozen Byte, I think is the name of the developer. And it was not a Trine game, but it's very much in the spirit of a Trine game. It looks like it. It's wizard, sorcery, all that stuff. And it's called 9 Parchments. And it is a twin stick shooter / action RPG co-op game. So top down, or kind of that angled isometric view. You and up to 4 friends go through levels, shooting spells, destroying enemies. There are boss fights. It looks like, judged on the reviews I read, it sounds like there's an interesting mechanic with the bad guys where they have elemental powers and you have to switch up the spells that you use against them. Otherwise, they're going to be immune or possibly vulnerable to some of those. But it does have like character progression, which is pretty cool. Wide variety of spells. So I don't know. It is $20. It came out in 2017. It's a little old. I never heard of this game, didn't even know it existed. I was talking last week about how you always forget about games and there's no way to remember them. There was one game, me, Chad, and Emilio, and possibly somebody else played this, and it reminded me a lot of this game, 9 Parchments.
Magic.
And it wasn't Magicka, although this does look a lot like Magicka and sound like it. This one was not a very popular game, and I think we, especially Chad and I, really tried to like make it a thing. Like we were trying to get people on board with it, but it just wasn't happening. And it had a weird name like Shield or Dodge or something like that, like something like really generic. I've already tried to find it, couldn't find it. Maybe I'll find it later. I don't know.
The Trojan
My joystick
explosion.
didn't help you out.
But I don't know. I do like these games. Number one, they're co-op, and I like these kind of like Castle Crashers, where you can pick it up and make some progress, level up a little bit. And Magicka too, but Magicka is actually pretty difficult. I found that one very challenging. But yeah, I don't know. It could be cool, but I will probably wait till it's on sale. It looks like it was on sale at one point for as cheap as $4. So, maybe.
Or you can just pass because nobody else is going to play this with you, man.
Well, I'm looking at the Steam page and there are 19 people playing right now. So somebody's out there.
Somebody's
Those
out
are
there.
19 potential friends, man.
Exactly, dude. And 100 or 97 was the peak today. So, I mean, that's not bad for like just a game nobody ever heard of from 2017.
No, not at all. This looks actually interesting.
The art looks very similar to.
Yeah, you could totally tell they probably used the assets from Magicka. And this was
To Trine.
2017. Yeah, from Trine. This probably came out around the same time as Trine 3, maybe.
Trine 3?
Chronology here. Yeah, let's see. Trine 3 was 2015. Okay.
They
Yeah,
just
so this
snuck
came out
one in
shortly
there in
after.
between.
Oh, I got really high and I played Magicka with a group of just really well-meaning people. And every time I tried to move, those are your spells, WASD, and I kept lighting my teammates on fire. And then I decided that game wasn't for me. I just didn't have the brain power at the time.
That would be a difficult game to play inebriated.
Just so you guys know, Magicka is another like top-down or isometric view game where you have to do. I'll call it a stratagem. I'll take it from the other game. Planet something.
Helldivers.
Yeah. You basically have to cast spells. So think of almost like a Street Fighter game. You'd have to be like down, right, up, and then click, and that would be your fire tornado or whatever.
Yeah.
And what's cool is you can mix with your other friends. So if both of you guys do a like Nova spell, you can combine them because they're kind of like channeled laser beams. You could put them together and they'll double up and do twice as much damage. Or you could hit a water one with a fire one. There's a lot of synergies, and also not just synergies, but things that were not conducive. Like you would put out your friend's fire with your water, so you had to make sure that you were,
but you would create
not fucking each other up.
Steam.
Steam.
Yeah, there was what was that game? Gauntlet. So in 2014, they had that remake of Gauntlet that was a huge flop. And again, that's another game that I just tried to like force the fun out of, and it just wasn't happening. But the problem with that one was you had the wizard character who operated just like that, had all these really cool button presses, was very complex and involved, really fun to play. And then the other characters, not so much. And then you had the barbarian who literally like just did nothing. Like it was the most boring. I have no idea why they created the character like that, because it was just like the most boring character to play and nobody wanted to play it.
Well, if you think of the original Gauntlet, that's all it was anyway. Just point and click, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah, wasn't it just an
click.
arcade cabinet with like 3 buttons or 2 buttons, like magical attack and
one,
attack?
dude. I can't imagine what. Oh no, 2. One was your magic.
One was your
potion,
spell, and then
which was like an explosion that would like. It was your oh shit button, and then there was the attack button.
Yeah, of course that was in the 80s though. So
yeah,
video games back then.
I mean, I love that game.
It's a good one.
Lots of
it was a good
like
one.
this
I remember
Gauntlet
playing it.
Slayer edition from 2014. 80%, 91% positive.
Yeah,
Steam.
Bobby. It was Bobby that was not happy.
Yeah, hater. God.
No, dude. You guys are like saying I was the one. I was the one that was just like, this game is good, guys. Just stick with it. Of course, I was playing the wizard. So
that's what he's saying.
I was playing the fun time.
That's what he's saying. Yeah. Christian, did you just look it up? It's 91%?
Of recent, 80% of all time. So it was still beloved even back then. In 2014.
Are we looking at the same game?
Bobby 7419 really enjoyed that one, probably.
God, yeah, that is the game. That's the one, 2014. I guess they got a Slayer edition. Well, let's play it this week.
If it's free, I'm not going to pay for this.
Has anybody else been to a PAX other than Christian?
No. I talked about last week how I really wanted to go to the PAX South, but it got canceled. But,
I think we should all go next year. It was so fun. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit. So I went to PAX. I've never been either to any gaming convention. And I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I've been to other conventions, so I guess I know a little bit. But like, dude, I was like reinvigorated after, like when I came back, I was like, yes, I fucking love video game. Like they're one of the best things ever. Like just walking the floor and talking to devs who are just like so passionate about all their little projects and playing like their early alpha builds and having fun, and just everyone around you is watching. You're watching people, you're talking to random people, and you're all talking about what we all love, video games. So it was fucking awesome. Tickets aren't that expensive. What is it, like $150 for 4 days? Like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
The value's there.
The hard thing is getting the tickets before anyone else does, right? Isn't that what it is?
Does it sell out?
I don't know.
He wouldn't know. He got a corporate account.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get into?
I didn't think it was hard to get into. I mean, it looked like there was quite a bit of people there, but they have it in 4 separate buildings in downtown Seattle. Huge buildings.
Okay, yeah.
So there is quite a bit of space when you're walking around. You're not just like sardined in there. I didn't smell one. I didn't smell one bad like BO, anyone smelling horrible until I went to the tabletop Warhammer area.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then it was like when you cook with too much garlic, it just like oozes out of your skin. That's what it was like just walking around. It was just like oozing this terrible smell. Anyways, I met up with Tag and Days, Amanda. It was awesome. I didn't want to do too many Seattle things because Rianne wasn't there with me, so we just went down to this market. They're like, "You want to see the gum wall?" And I said, "Can I lick it?" And then they were like, let's not take this guy to the gum
If you
wall.
want hyper aids.
And I played 2 games that blew my socks off. So I can't find these games online, by the way. Like I have a Kickstarter page and a screenshot. Like these are early pre-alpha things that I played and I had a blast. So something called Peggy's Farm. It's a mixture
Oh.
of Stardew Valley and Peggle. Is that not the best idea of all time? Bro.
Yeah, man.
That sounds like a fucking scam. That's
Anything
so
with
good.
Peggle.
Yeah. And I played it. I was like, yep, this is a great idea. Great fucking idea. And like the booth was so busy because everyone agreed. And then this other one called Ascent Rivals. I don't know about this name, guys. Maybe you ought to mix that up. But it's a remake of like Pod Racer, except it's with a controller. And I'm not a big fan of racing games. I haven't played a lot. But each engine is a thumbstick. So, like when Anakin is in the pod racer, he's pushing both forward and he accelerates. That's what you feel when you do it. And then when you turn, one engine has to go back and reduce throttle, and the other has to increase to make like a sharp turn. And there's more, guys. The triggers are the weight of the vessel. So if you know in that scene in in episode 1 where they have to like the pod racer goes from frisbee, it goes from frisbee to like straight line. You can do that as you shift the weight, and there are areas in the course where you have to do that, and not just straight lines, like quarter turns and everything else. So it's like super involved, and they said it was going to have like a crafting system. Races are going to earn you coins, and you can like customize your pod racer and everything. So I thought, this is fucking good, and it was so fun. So
downside, I hear free to play when you say earn coins, but hopefully not. I mean, indie dev. Well, it could go either way. I want to make a new rule because around here we at DLG we make and break trends. If you named your game and you can reverse the names of the words and it'll still mean the same thing. So Ascent Rifles. If you went Rivals Ascent and nobody really like it's the exact same thing, like maybe it's time for a new name.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad. That's a good one.
That is a great rule, dude. You should do this professionally. Yeah. Oh wait, you kind of.
Thanks, man.
I searched it and like 1,000 other things came up, and I was like, this is just not SEO friendly, people. Like you could name it, and it's like a sick game. It deserves a better name than Rivals Ascent.
Yeah,
I had a similar thought about these companies that name themselves but misspell one letter, like Jupiter with a Y. I'm like, I feel like that just
SEO
makes you hard
friendly.
to find.
No,
it is
because if you see it once and you type it in, you can always find Jupiter with a Y, but you'll never find Jupiter. If they named it just Jupiter, that would be dumb, I think.
Oh yeah,
I'm so glad we have a marketing guy.
Yeah, I guess SEO friendly would be the word, but then you always got to explain to people, no, it's with a Y.
That's your problem with this fucking podcast name, dude. You're like, oh, I have to always tell them with a K. It's so annoying.
If we were,
well, I guess we're SEO friendly though.
Hell yeah.
If we were robbing a bank and this was a heist, I'd be the muscle. Nick would be the con man because he lies all the time. Bobby would definitely plan the whole thing, and Christian would be marketing for some reason.
Make sure we're SEO branded.
He's our spin team when we get caught.
Yeah. What's your favorite colors? We all got to dress appropriately. Okay, Emilio, Void Crew. Exciting. What's going on?
Void Crew is, I put this on for you and Bobby more than anybody else. Void Crew. Okay, help me out a little bit, guys, because one of the things here I said, like game Bobby and Christian played. So it's like a Star Trek simulator, 4-player co-op, running around a spaceship and going off and doing adventures in space. What is the game that you guys play that's old?
Is it in VR?
No, you're talking about Artemis. There's a VR one called Artemis,
no, the one we played,
and there's
was
one called Star
Lost
Trek.
Colony.
Pulsar Lost Colony, yeah.
Pulsar Lost Colony. So
okay.
This is in early access. They're trying to do the same thing, it looks like, but the graphics are much better because it's a lot newer. And just off the bat, you can definitely notice the difference. Not to say that it's better, because you guys said that there's so much to do in that game. But I did notice that every device has an off switch. So the guns on the side, and now when you use guns, it's kind of like Star Wars, where you sit in a, like a what do you call that? Like a ball that
gun
you could,
gun cockpit, a cock gun.
a turret. Yeah,
It's called a ball
Yeah.
turret.
yeah.
It literally
A
is
what?
called a ball turret. A ball turret. It
A
literally
ball
is-
Cock
turret. Yeah,
gun.
yeah. You
I
sit in
like
one of
cock
those
gun.
and you shoot.
I like cock gun. Sorry, keep going.
But you can anything you're not using, you can turn off to divert more power to other things. But it looks like you have to physically do it. So you have to have people running around and turning off certain things that you're not using. I thought that was interesting. There was a little bit of that in Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's always a fun mechanic. Actually, that's in Starfield too, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't know. This is for you guys. What do you guys? Did you?
It looks
Did I
great.
not put a link?
No, you didn't link it in the show notes, but I found it. Yeah, no, this looks great. It is
Yeah.
4-player co-op. Pulsar Lost Colony, I think, is up to 6. And just scanning through the reviews and taking a look at the Steam page, it seems like it's a little easier, a little simpler than that. But still, I think that's okay. I mean, it can still be enjoyable even if it is simpler.
That could be
But-
welcomed. It does look beautiful though. Like it looks
Yeah.
like it'd be
compared to
exciting
the other
too.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is tough to get like 6 people to play Pulsar with you. I've been trying to do that for years now, but
Yeah,
you can
remember
always
the role
play
play
with
group,
less control.
Bobby.
Oh,
When we
no.
role played, Bobby had a voice changer on, so he sounded like a robot, and he role played as a robot. I thought that was novel. I thought we were breaking
mean,
psychological boundaries.
Tough.
You know,
I just talked like my normal self, and I had a robot voice, so I guess
dude, it was pretty crazy.
yeah. But yeah, I love co-op. Yeah, I'll throw
I
this
would
one
love
on
to
the
play
wish
this.
list. How many
Yeah.
people are playing it right now? That's the real question. Can I get into a crew?
1,700, dude. Holy crap!
That's pretty
Wow.
good, dude. That's
Wow.
How is
pretty
this?
good.
How has this gone under our? When did this come out? This is strange. This seems too
Well,
good. September
now that
7th.
it's
Oh,
on-
Okay.
Now it's on the official radar. It's going to be on everybody's little generic radars.
oh, I'm excited. Oh, it's early access, but I think I could buy this. I think I could see myself clicking the buy button.
Hey! As we talked about before the show.
Okay, yeah, I shouldn't.
Stop claiming
I
all
should-
these things
yeah.
you're going to buy.
Okay.
Because as soon as the show, because nothing's getting purchased.
Yeah, you're
All
right. Okay.
Yeah.
But
If
you
we
do
run the
buy it,
numbers
let me know,
again-
'cause I'll buy it.
if we run the numbers again, I'm sure Christian's total Steam numbers of how much you've bought is the exact same it was when we did the first time.
Yeah,
It just
it's,
hasn't moved at all.
Okay.
It's less because he refunded something.
I have a household budget, people. Okay, I have to make it all work over here. Nick, you're playing with your food?
Yeah, dude, every day of my life. So there's a new game. I think it's pronounced Nour, like nourishment. So it's a very interesting looking game. I tried to choose a game this week that was kind of like out of my wheelhouse. It's more of an artsy game. Unfortunately, there's no price tag on it. It deals with like a physics engine that seems kind of puzzly. You can like increase the size of things, shrink things, slow down time, like turn off graphics, turn on gravity, increase gravity, all these things. They don't call their levels or their food levels or foods. They call them vignettes. And so like there's things from like a gumball machine to like a plate of spaghetti to a bowl of ramen. Apparently the game, you can just there's like sort of a story mode where you do each vignette one by one, and like things get more complex. Not too much is known about that though. But however, there is a dynamic soundtrack that goes with every vignette, and that like kind of adapts to what you do in the game. So like if you cut something in half, like a top hat of the drums will snap or things like that. Like it very much adjusts to what you're doing in the game to like go with what you're doing.
It
So
is such a trip, man. This whole thing
is
is
going
so
on here?
weird. It looks good though. I mean,
yeah, it looks very pretty.
yeah, graphically, it's making art. It's making art out of beautiful food.
Oh, this game was at PAX and I didn't stop and play it. It was right beside the play date. You guys know I love the play date. Ah, cool.
I would have really liked to know what the gameplay loop is, Chris. So you really dropped the ball there.
Yeah, I fucked up.
You-
Sorry,
you
guys. I
dropped
was
the
too
ball
busy.
of-
I was
Go ahead.
spinning
If
the
you-
side dial on the play date, and I couldn't focus on anything else. I just love spinning it.
Yeah.
If you want my professional estimation on how much it's probably going to cost, it's probably going to be $24.99. It comes out the day that this podcast gets released, so September 12th. But there is a demo for it. So
we
yeah,
need to
check it
keep
out.
track of these guesstimates. I want to see. If we can
We should graph the
prices right.
guesstimates.
We've
You
been
should always
talking
do a
about this,
guesstimate.
For
You
prices,
should-
yeah.
You should always do a guesstimate, and I should always write it down, and then I'll forget in like 3 weeks. But that'll be enough. So what do you say? $24.99, and you said that was your
$24.99.
professional. Got it. Professional
Professional estimation.
estimation. Got it.
I'm gonna go with $19.99.
That was my original one, but I think it's too pretty and it has too much time to warrant that price.
Bobby,
It's at
Somebody
least
wake up
20
Bobby.
bucks.
how much?
I said at least $20.
20
Okay,
bucks.
well, I just said $19.99, so you're going 1 cent over mine. Is that what's happening? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
No, dude, they never list. There's that one game that sells for $20. What is it, Factorio? Or maybe it's like 30 now. But other than that, like no games. They always do the $19.99. Wait, what did Nick say? Did he say higher? or lower?
$24.99.
God
Higher.
damn. See, yeah, it's either one of those two. I don't know what I pick. $17.99
There you go.
on sale.
There you go.
I'm gonna
The Price is Right rules, right?
$7 in your monies in United States dollaroonies. $7
That's what you're saying?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even know you're
Okay.
allowed to play. Okay.
Oh, if I'm not allowed to play, I say
Fuck you,
$1,000. Yeah.
Get out of here, damn it.
Okay, cool. So next
But that was
episode,
Nour. Play with your food.
if we remember, we'll confirm the price. That's fun. Ah, a loop from one episode to another. Oh, a tie-in, not a loop. That's exciting. Okay.
But just one. Just one. If we do this for multiple, it'll be too much.
It's too much, yeah. Highlights. Games we have been playing. Bobby has been playing a game, Trine 3. What?
Yes, I have. I beat it, in fact. That doesn't,
Hey.
it really doesn't sound as cool as it was. I had gotten so close to beating this game and then just didn't beat it for some weird reason. Same thing with Skyrim. So I just decided to finish it this week. Trine 3, like I was saying last week, was the least popular Trine game. People did not like this one. So I think it was the first one they did early access with. And some people felt it wasn't really finished when it was released.
Mhm.
But it also, I think the big problem people had with it was the 3D space that the characters now moved in. The first ones were 2D, but they were kind of 2.5D. They looked three-dimensional, but it was actually the gameplay was two-dimensional. Not in this one, though. In this one, there is that Z-axis, and it really throws you off. Every single game that does it, all the brawler beat 'em up games that I play, like, you try to punch the guy, but you're like standing too farther up or too closer in, and you can't really tell. In this game, I had to kind of use the shadows to tell exactly where people were at, like what plane they were on, so I could hit them successfully. There's also boss fights in this one. I want to say they were in the other ones, but I can't remember. But
I want to say I played Trine 4, and I feel like there wasn't this much Z-axis depth.
no,
Maybe
they
a
got
little.
rid of it.
Yeah,
in
they got
Trine
rid
4.
of
I
it.
haven't played Trine 4, but yeah, I heard they got rid of it. It was very unpopular.
Bobby, you and I played Trine 4. I can guarantee it for at least an hour or two.
Maybe we did.
Maybe
They all
maybe
kind of
not.
blend
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
I know for sure we played and beat Trine 2 together, but I don't remember 4. But
Back
this
in the
was
days when you used to like me. Hey, do you know what is going on with the story? I know that 3 people are in one gem, right? Basically, they're trapped in there because they all touched it at the same time, right? So,
yeah, I can't remember much about the story. There's the 3 characters you always play: the knight Pontius, the ranger Zoya, and the wizard Amadeus. No, it starts with
sounds
an
right.
A. It
That
might
sounds
be
right.
Amadeus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the stories are nice, but I don't remember any of them. This one, I don't know if Trine 4 did this or if Trine 5 does it as well, but Trine 3 also had an open world. So the other ones were very linear. They're like point A to point B, you move on to the next level. This one, you have this open map and you have to walk around to each one and enter the levels through these little portals. And it's like a game board that you're on. It's like the map in Mario 3, basically. But what this game does too, that was also kind of annoying, is you've got to find these glowing orange pyramids throughout the map. It's not just about solving the puzzle and getting on to the next one. You have to find these orange pyramids, and they're this type of currency, and you need enough of them in order to unlock another level. So the difficult part for me was that I had beaten this game like all the levels, but I didn't have enough of these gems to unlock the very last boss. You need 900. So I had to actually go back and replay levels that I had played before just to collect these little gems in hard to get spots, which I found a little annoying. But also in this one, they switch up the animation style. It's a beautiful game. I can't remember what engine they use on it, but I think it's like the
Frostbite?
same one. Yeah, I think that's it.
Crytek?
I remember it was the same one they used for some of the Battlefield games, I think, the Frostbite engine, or maybe Call of Duty. But, obviously very different games. But it looks great. But then some of these levels go into this more hand-drawn, like sketch kind of look, which looks cool too. But yeah, I don't know, man. I did not like it as much as Trine 2, even though it's been like forever since I played that one. But I guess
it's
now
funny.
that I've
Dude, Bobby, I feel like when Trine 3 came out, I think it was at like the height of their popularity. Like, not popularity, but like it was coming off the heels of Trine 2, and everybody, Trine 2 was so good, and everybody was waiting and just really let people down. And it's unfortunate because we're always telling devs to fucking like take risks and stuff. And it looks like they took a lot of risks. I mean,
they did, yeah.
They have all kinds of stuff here, and it fell flat. And then they, at least they had enough resources to come back for Trine 4 and 5 and go back true to form. Maybe they're bored of doing the same thing, but it keeps selling. You know what I mean? I just looked at the reviews, and there were 6,000 Trine 3 reviews, and there was 10,000 Trine 4 reviews. So going back to true to form seems like worked.
And
Well,
Trine
they did
5
improve on
just
some
came out.
things.
And has
Yeah.
anyone played it?
No, we talked about it last week. I just realized that it came out recently. I had not heard anything about it, but that's why I wanted to go back, play Trine 3. Now I'm ready for 4, and then hopefully 5 in the future.
The
But
whole anthology, dude. Nice.
I like
Will
Trine
Bobby
games.
complete it all?
But
Dude, Trine 5 has a 96%.
Yeah,
I think they
seems
mastered
good.
their craft, dude.
Yeah.
but if you look at the number of reviews, it was pretty low. when I looked
303?
last week.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah, so I don't
I'm just
think
gonna
as
call
many
Bobby
people
Mr. Brightside, dude. He's like, yeah, but
Well,
Yeah,
you
Bobby,
have to take
Let's
that
not get ahead of ourselves there, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if
These
something-
games, the appeal of these games is that they're not co-op, tri-op, whatever that's called. They're threesomes. Bobby, did you have a threesome while you played this game? Did you play it with 2 other people? And
No, I played it single player and switched between the characters. And one problem they did have with Trine 2, as great as that game was, and I guess Trine 1 to a certain extent, is there's really not much for the knight to do. In fact, the wizard really carried the team. I could definitely tell in Trine 3 they tried to even the playing field. I found myself using the knight a lot more. There's a lot more combat in it, so you have to use the knight for that, but also like his slow fall where he uses the shield to break his fall. That helps in a lot of places. I think they all have ledge grabs. I know the knight definitely does, but yeah, man, I think what really happened here, I think the early access killed it because they released Trine 3 in this early state and it was super short. I mean, the time to beat on Trine 3 is like 6 hours. Trine 4 and Trine 2 are like 10. So I think they released it early and people were just like, it was in an unfinished state and people were expecting a full game. That happens a lot with early access games, or at least it used to. Now I think we know what to expect. But back then, people were just like, if it's for sale on Steam, people were just like, why is this game not finished? Even if it's got that blue tag on it. But I think there was just a lot of negative reaction that got ahead of the game, and they couldn't recover from that, even though it's a pretty good game.
one of my most formative gaming experiences was when Emilio and John took me through Trine. I never even heard of Trine before they did that. And I thought the concept was so cool, but I thought the hook, because wouldn't it be annoying to have to yourself switch through all 3 characters? Like, isn't the hook the trio of co-op.
I mean, that is nice, but
No?
switching between characters
Yeah.
can be really fun and creative. So like what I would do a lot of times, I'd use Zoea to like launch myself or swing myself somewhere really high. And then I'd immediately switch to the knight and I'd use his shield to
Glide.
break the fall and glide down. So
Okay,
you
cool.
can do some pretty cool things when you're playing solo.
Or you
Do you have to do
switch
it like
to the wizard to do physics. You're making collision in the game. You're making boxes and
Yeah.
And-
Well, in the
and-
third one, he only makes boxes. He forgot how to
trying
make
to
planks.
You're trying to make interesting. Trying to make. Sorry, okay, keep going. My bad.
way to kill the vibe there.
Dude, I couldn't even remember what I was going to. You killed it so bad that I forgot what I was going to fucking ask.
Trying to
Jeez.
make. Oh, come on, that was right. Okay, whatever.
All right.
No, I
Get
get
a
it.
new producer. Gee.
No.
Fired.
Trying to get a new producer.
Trying to get to the next game. What about Soulstone Survivors?
So I've talked about this a lot. Bobby's talked about this a lot. It's a great vampire survival game.
Maybe the best.
I think it's the best. Yeah. But I hadn't played it in so long. I actually deleted it because it's so mindless and it's so I guess I don't want to say unrewarding, but like when you play this or any vampire survival game, you really feel like you're wasting time as opposed to other games. I don't know. That's the way I feel. But so I deleted it because I was just playing it too much and it was taking up too much time. And so I saw it, it just randomly popped up, whatever, when I was searching for something else. And I was like, oh, let's see where. Oh, this is what it was. I remember. Bobby, remember we were talking about the I don't know what it's called. The ticker at the top of your Steam page. It's just like it tells you about updates and stuff on your library, right? So it's telling you the most, but I've been curating it. Anything I don't care about, I just fucking say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. So now only things that I actually care about pop up. So Soulstone Survivors was like, hey, our newest update is out, but I know that I've missed 6, 7, 8 updates. So I was like, let's check it out. So that's what that ticker's for. Things exactly like this, if you curate it a little bit, it's going to pay off. And so I played it and I was blown away. I was like, I can't believe they'd put in this much work. So let's see where we're at on my notes here. Yeah, I said the devs must have been busy with updates. All the mobs have been replaced with other mobs. They still have all of them before, but like all low-level mobs used to be skeletons, and now they're like level appropriate places. So like if you go to the desert, you're fighting these like Egyptian lizards, and there's I want to say I saw 30 or 40 new mob types. That's a lot, and they're just little guys, but like it makes a big difference, especially since they do different things and you gotta keep watching them and to see how they attack you. And then there's a whole new skill tree that like takes the original skill tree and then expands it to this gigantic thing. It almost reminded me of Path of Exile. Not that expansive, but the size of it reminded me of it. And then I put here Fog of War because I haven't seen a skill tree that does this before. All skill trees tell you that you have to spend X amount before you can go to the next tier down, right? They all do that. Spend 5 points before you go to the next one down. But on this one, there's a Fog of War like over it, and you can't really see what's the next one.
Oh,
So
cool.
you have to spend points in order to see the next area in one area or another. You could go right, you could go left, you don't know. So there's a little bit of luck that goes into it. Maybe like
Were you ever surprised by what's up there? You're like, oh, this isn't what I wanted.
They're all incremental little things. I just thought the presentation was very well done. I think ultimately it doesn't really matter because you're kind of you're going to reveal the whole thing. But it did add a little bit of like, ooh, what's this? I thought it was very cool, and I've never seen it before. Yeah, it's the best vampire survival game out there. Although Vampire Survival DLC, Survivor DLC was like 100% well received. So,
Yeah,
but I
Deep
haven't
Rock
played it.
Galactic one's coming out soon too. Hopefully.
Oh, boy.
Ooh,
Oh,
exciting.
Bobby. So I looked up the board game. I remember you had brought it up, the Deep Rock Galactic board game, and you decided not to back it. And it's too bad because you can't fucking buy that thing anywhere, dude. And it got pretty good reviews too.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's all right. We already got a Risk game lined up at DLG
boy.
Con.
We're playing
so, like, that's
Risk? What kind?
Dude, have you not been in Discord? Oh, it's happening. So if anyone's going to DLG Con and you want to be on the Risk game, we're going to start it up right at the beginning, keep it going throughout the entire duration of DLG Con.
Oh, that's a good idea.
World domination.
Is it classic Risk, Bobby, or is it any of the new maps or fancy modes?
No, I think it's classic Risk. I'm not bringing the game, but we've got someone bringing the game, and I got to brush up because I haven't played Risk in forever. I mean, I kind of remember how to play, but not really.
You're gonna get so fucked up, dude. You can't even beat me in Star Wars Rebellion. You think you can?
Oh boy! Oh my God.
Nick, are you a Risk player?
I am not a Risk player. I mean, I played
it's
a
not
couple
a hard game
times,
to
but
learn.
it's not.
It's very simple.
It's not a hard game at all. But it's just not my thing.
I want to be at that table if there's a spot. I don't want to intrude, but you know,
people get too into it for me. Like it really becomes like a thing.
That's why you stick to Warhammer.
God damn it! You got me, man.
I'm in for a more casual experience.
You got me on that one. Fuck.
For Soulstone Survivors, the developer is doing a Q&A on September 12th at 5 p.m. Have you guys ever been to one of these dev Q&As? They're popping up all over on Discord. I always see them on Steam now. I think it's a really interesting way to get the community involved, especially if you're a small indie dev, like face-to-face. Everyone's on cam. They use the Discord stage setup, so it's one person at a time talking. Have you been to any of these?
Never been to one of those. No, I've attended a few of the Deep Rock Galactic ones when they have big announcements, but that's usually a Twitch show, and they have Q&A is only part of it. They're also just showing off a lot of stuff. But no, this is like something that's common in Discord, because I remember a lot of people doing stuff like this on Reddit.
Yeah, the stage channel in Discord, and then the person given permission to speak can just like speak to however many people are there, like 1,200 or whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of dangerous. Like you get the wrong person up there, and you know, who knows?
So it's actually they like give the mic to
yeah, like a real Q&A in like a town hall meeting or something like that. Like that person can just speak. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the risk in real life too, though? Like you give some rando.
Yeah, it's pretty risky. Anyways, I want to go to one and see it kind of go off the rails a little bit. Like, I don't really want it to see that, but I think formatively it would be good for me to laugh at that. Okay, Ozymandias. It's a 4X game, and before I go on, I want to pop quiz you folks. Nick, I want you to name an X in the 4X.
Economy?
No. Emilio, I want you to name an X in the 4X.
Expand.
Oh, that's pretty okay, yeah. Bobby? Explore is one, yeah.
Exterminate
is one. Is expand one? I should have known. I should have known all the 4X's, but I'm adding an X.
Exploit,
it doesn't matter.
Right? Isn't an economy is exploit?
Guys, I'm adding one for extremely fast. Extremely. This is not a 4X game. This is a 5X game with the depth of a 4X game. On the Steam page, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they say something like it takes 1.5 hours to finish, and it has the depth of a Civ or like a Paradox game. And I was like, what? No way. Like, you can't do that. Like, the depth is there. It takes a long time. You can't just pass it. No, they did it, and it's really rewarding and fun, but it's simple enough that I think anyone can play, but it still has this depth of strategy that was very surprising. It has multiplayer, different maps, it has really cheap DLC, and I think it's like $11 Canadian, so $8 or $9. I've been playing the shit out of this. This has been consuming my life. This is what Risk should be, but it isn't.
It's great
And-
that you're conquering on a budget, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. I got to stick to that household budget. But when I played this, I thought someone like Emilio, who doesn't have a lot of time to learn how to get into like a huge 4X game, could easily play this with some friends and I think have still a pretty good time, you know?
So the DLC looks like it's areas. It's all named after locations. You have to buy
Yes.
DLC to expand to those areas.
Well, I think it comes with 12 maps, and then the game is so cheap that I don't really mind them having this DLC with some of the new areas. I think they have like, I'm looking at it now, Aztecs. Yeah, this is all like European and like the Mid-East area, and I guess these DLC expand those maps, which is cool.
Dude, you can expand your empire for $199. They had to expand their empire on the backs of slaves and blood and horses. That
True.
$199 seems like a fucking deal.
It's 2023, you know, like we're getting the best of it. We're getting the best of the world. Any interest in this, guys? You know, if we wanted to set up a multiplayer game, any interest? Going once. Come
Fuck
on.
off! You break promises.
No, going twice. 3 times.
I might check it out. And it is multiplayer. It's co-op, online
Yeah.
PvP.
Not co-op. Well, I mean,
Oh,
it's
PvP.
last man standing. Yeah, like
Okay.
Risk.
I will say I like their border system. It looks kind of wibbly wobbly. I think I like it.
We do like a wibbly wobbly board.
We
Those are
like the
best
wibble wobble
ones.
borders.
Don't like those straight borders.
No.
Nevada, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. God.
Colorado, you too.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you like these types of games, check out the Steam page and play with me. Play with me. Please play with me. Please play
I do
with
see
me.
you on Discord playing that game a lot. So
Yeah.
I figured, I was wondering when we were going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Christian, you think you don't have time yet right now, but once you have kids, dude, it's all gone. Get it all in while you
Oh
can.
my
Get
God,
it all
dude.
in.
Yeah, you're
Get
right.
it all
No.
in.
Yeah. I don't know what all in means, but I'm trying. I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll do
Try
better.
is like have your fun now is what I'm saying. Don't
Yeah.
All right. Where we at? Starfield. Oh, yeah. Hey, big title. You know what's funny?
Big title for the guy that probably won't be able to talk too much about it.
I was playing Remnant. I actually played it for like 4 hours.
Okay, there we go.
I was playing Remnant with John, and I was like, "Hey, so, you know, Starfield's pretty good. You should give it a shot whenever you get some time." And he's like, "Oh, that's the one. That's the one that's been in early access for like a really long time, and you know, people buy spaceships for a lot of money." I was like, "No, that's Star Citizen." He goes, "Oh, okay, Starfield. No, don't know what it is."
What?
I was like,
what?
I was like, "Who are you right now,
How
dude?"
did you miss that one?
Yeah. And I was like, "Have you heard of Skyrim?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's Skyrim in space." He's like, "Okay." I was like, "All right." It's
Just
weird,
completely
you know?
unfazed. Just
Yeah,
like,
just
oh,
yeah.
all right, cool.
But that is a very accurate description. Skyrim or Fallout and Fallout a little more because there was a Fallout in between Skyrim and this. This is just a personal thing. I think I do enjoy the fan. I would go probably post-apocalyptic, then fantasy, and then space. Not to say I don't like space, but if I had to rank them, I'd probably put them in that order. And it's unfortunate because space is able to have such a gigantic fucking world, you know, just like planet after planet. There's 1,000 planets in this game, and they're all explorable, and they all have their own, different creatures and flora and fauna and all that stuff. But this is not No Man's Sky. Like No Man's Sky, and I can't speak on No Man's Sky like very accurately, but generally it's like a do whatever you want. At least there is some structure in this game. But you can go play No Man's Sky in this, but you cannot play Starfield in No Man's Sky because you're not going to get this level of fucking voice acting. You're not going to get this level of writing. You're not going to get this music score, dude. Like, it's the Starfield is fucking millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars went into this thing, and it shows.
Does Nick hate Starfield? Sorry, his face.
I don't hate it, but what I'm going to say is that apparently all that is shit compared to Baldur's Gate when it comes to voice acting and writing.
Oh my god, you guys can't shut the fuck up about Jesus Christ.
But no, all the writers say that, and fucking voice actors say that the writing, voice acting, animation is ass, like compared to Baldur's Gate and other games. For what they've done and for all the time that they put in, Starfield is a great game. Don't get me wrong, but as far as like comparison wise and all the time that they put in, it's another Bethesda game.
You guys
wait
did Ecstasy.
to buy it on sale.
You Baldur's Gate folks did Ecstasy, and you're never gonna get there again. So just accept it and move on.
We're chasing the
please.
dragon.
Yeah.
Chasing the gate.
I was going to talk about something in regards to like why you like post-apocalyptic or fantasy better, and why the majority of people actually go with that as well. It has to do with like relativity and why like you can walk out into the forest and experience the forest or like a post-apocalyptic situation. That's way more possible for you than going out into space and like going to other places. That's not to say fantasy is more possible to you, but it's more tied into like the reality
it really
that you
is.
have.
Yeah.
And so for most people, that's way more possible and way more relevant. That's why there are way more people that play Fallout and Skyrim that are playing Starfield. So
I could like there's some truth there. I see what he's trying to say, because I do this a lot of times when I'm playing games. I'll be like, is that something that could happen? And like I could, I guess, potentially do all the things you could do in Skyrim, minus dragons and magic. I can't do any of the things in in Starfield. Like the step one, be in space. Can't do it. It's very. It's
I think
like,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
but I don't like the data. I don't like the certainty of the data that backed up. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
There's 6 million total players playing Starfield. That's a record for any Bethesda launch, beating out Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. I mean, obviously there's more people in the world, but take that how you will. Also, where are you getting the stat? Most people like fantasy or post-apocalyptic over sci-fi. Where are you getting that? Where?
I can guarantee you that I can guarantee you with logical with any kind of, if you could pull a Family Feud right now and you poll at least 100,000 people, the majority of people will go with fantasy and post-apocalyptic than they will with space.
This is still your opinion, though. You're not basing that on anything that you read. And
it is my opinion. I will say that wholeheartedly.
But do you see how you stated your opinion as fact when you went right before you started talking?
Because I can tell. I guarantee you it's true. I guarantee you it's true.
Wow. I want to poll 100 people now. I want to find out.
I mean, we could start with the 4 that we have here.
Oh, what a good sample size. Okay, Nick, go first.
Fantasy. 100%.
Emilio?
Post-apocalyptic.
Bobby?
The space.
Oh,
if we got anybody in
you
chat,
just said that just to fucking
you piece of shit.
And guess what I'm going to say? Guess that's 50%. That's 50%.
You piece of shit. Bobby's an asshole. He did it too.
Is that really a surprise that I would choose space? I don't like fantasy.
I know you don't.
That's why he changed his fucking screen name to Bobby Space 01.
Yeah. We should get a Discord poll on.
We should get a Discord
DLG
poll so you can be wrong twice, motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll
Jesus.
see.
It wants a recount.
Space is fucking stupid.
Okay.
Now, that all said, I'm enjoying the shit out of the game.
I will put $1,000 that Redfall will outsell. Redfall will outsell Starfield in a heartbeat.
Well, we have some listeners. Does anyone want to take that?
It's the next guy. It's the next guy.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
I guarantee you, dude.
I don't think it's called Redfall, dude. Isn't Redfall that game they just came out with?
Yeah.
It's Red something. Redfall is that game they just came out with that flopped really bad.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a name, but
it has a what do you call it? Sky. Just put Elder Scrolls 6 and then Redfall. Redfall?
Isn't it Redfall?
You might be right, but they just made a game called Red something. Red Field? God damn, we're the worst.
We're the
2 years
worst,
ago, everyone thought Redfall was the next Elder Scrolls,
Ah.
but it didn't make a lot of sense. That's an IGN headline from June 13th, 2021.
What's the game that Bethesda just made right before this one? Red Field?
Fallout 76?
Fallout 76.
Maybe it's not.
I mean, they
Bethesda.
made a
All right,
couple
never
of
mind.
those. Don't they all
Never
did?
mind. We're getting in the weeds here.
Yeah. We
Okay, let me talk about this game.
$1,000. Sorry, keep going.
I'll bet you. I will bet anybody.
Yeah, the next Elder Scrolls is going to outsell Starfield. Is that the bet?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, on name alone, I think it would.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree because it's a new IP as well. Although sales, it's hard to track sales when you're talking about. It's free on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. So you're in that neck of the woods, Chris. Can you tell us if downloads equate sales and if those are posted, or is that secret time for Microsoft?
I think it depends developer to developer and like deal to deal. Like I've heard of deals with Xbox Game Pass where it's just a lump sum, and I've heard about a lump sum plus downloads and then downloads as a separate thing. So yeah, I think it just depends at the negotiating table. What do you want and what do you think you can get? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I can dig it. Oh, really quick sidebar. I try to play Exo Primal on Game Pass, and you have to sign into your Microsoft account, which you should be already because you're already on Game Pass. And I don't know. I was having trouble. I couldn't play it. Could not play Exo Primal. And that cost them a download. That's all I'm going to tell them. Yeah. One hefty chunk of a download.
One meaty download.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Anyway, so back to Starfield. Still one of the biggest releases this year on a crazy year of releases. Top 3, I would say. You know, Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate, and Starfield. And this one you can get for $14.99, which is crazy, or $1 if that's still out there. No, they took that away specifically right before this game came out. The $1 for 3 months or the $1 for 1 month. I think they took it away because they knew a lot of people were going to be, which was a smart move. I would have done the same thing. Graphics are good, not great. There are parts that you're like, oh, like especially the space parts, the spaceships, they look fucking amazing. They look so cool. Every time you talk to somebody, it's a Bethesda game. Like Chris, when I say it's a Bethesda game, do you know what I'm talking about? How many Bethesda games have you played?
I've started since Morrowind, and I think I've played them all, at least a little bit.
Oh, so you're very well versed, and you haven't beaten Skyrim.
I've told this before, right? I always get distracted in the first town, become a blacksmith, and want to marry the girl. I'm just like gathering my resources. I'm redecorating her home. She's like, "What are you doing here?"
And making different color parchments for people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Well, this you can do that. Like you can completely get You start on a planet, obviously, but not like a civilized one. And I just wanted to stay there, dude. I just wanted to stay there and keep. Until I found a monster, and then I ran from the monster, and I jumped in my spaceship and took off. I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't want to go back there. I might as well start my adventure." And that's why I started my adventure, not because I didn't go off roaming. You know, I did try roaming, and there was a big monster. You want to fight big monsters. Yeah. So let's see. The music, the voice acting, I'm so much better than Skyrim. You know, Skyrim was like 8 people trying to do 100 voices. This is 100 people doing 1,000 voices. So yeah, it's fantastic. And you know, I was thinking, first of all, apparently, according to, and I'm not trying to say anything political here, but it's funny. Apparently, for Bethesda, everybody in space is black because like the first 50 people you meet are all black, all ones that you talk to. I was like, Oh, okay, that's fine. But what is cool is they all have different accents, and it is a metropolis, and you do get a bunch of different accents in a metropolis, and that's how it is, and which is so different from
Previous games.
giant, yeah, different games. In different games, you go to a big city, and everybody sounds the exact same
Yeah,
they're
like
trying
in
to go for
Cyberpunk. Yeah.
But that's not true. That's not what it is. You get a lot of different flavors when you go to a big city. But anyway, so I thought it was done, and I haven't seen a bad voice actor yet. Not only that, there's some people that are so good at it. I'll have you. You can talk to me about whatever. I'll go through all your voice lines because it's so fucking sick, dude. Like, I love it. It's so good. That's really good. So there's so much. So there's the running through town. There's the running through space. There's the being on low gravity planets. There's the flying in space. There's the space combat. There's the space. There's the building your own spaceship. There is the crafting. There is the research for the crafting. There is materials. There's robots. There's companions. There's a gazillion side quests. There's so many ways of combat, sniper rifles, everything. This game has everything. And so when you put everything in one, hold on.
What's around
Something's buzzing. I don't know what it is.
God.
It gets complex. It gets complex to the point where I have to look up very simple things, how to do them. Just like, how do I pick up things that I just mined in space? Just little key presses, because I go through key bindings. That's usually how I find, and it's not in there. Not everything that you can do in the game is described in the game, and that's fine. I mean, for a game this big, I don't mind going and looking up things. The lock picking is probably the best lock picking in any Bethesda game ever. That's
hard to beat, dude.
Dude, it's very good, dude.
That's good.
You have to plan ahead on your lock picking. I'll just leave it at that. It's really interesting.
Is it live world lock picking? Like the world is still going around you as it's happening?
I don't know, because I usually kill everything all around me.
Good call.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because that's the one thing that people have been saying for years for Bethesda games is like, please make it live world lockpicking, so like someone can discover you while you're lockpicking, or someone like, because every time you hack a terminal in Fallout or you lockpick in like Fallout or whatever, I'm only using that because that's what came out before this, is that like the whole world freezes. All right, a missile could be heading towards your head, and you can lockpick for an hour, and you teleport on the other side of the door, and you avoid all damage. So.
I'm kind of okay with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I will say that when you like hit escape and it says Starfield, like that pauses the game, which I like.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like when you lockpick.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
He's trying to guard himself
it's
against
a wasp,
dude. You got a fucking
there's
monkey
a wasp
brain.
in here. Hold on.
Go kill it.
Stop right
Eat
now.
it.
Well, stop
Eat it.
flying.
Eat the wasp.
Those. I'm allergic to wasps.
Oh shit!
Are you really?
No.
That was good. That was fucking good.
This game is fucking great, man. I'm a huge Bethesda fan. Fallout 3 was my favorite game of all time till Skyrim came out. Then Skyrim was my favorite game of all time, and now it's The Witcher. I do like huge, deep, immersive games, and that's what this is. And this is the best version, flat out, before mods, that there's ever been. A fully modded Fallout 4 or a fully modded Skyrim might be better than this at launch, but this is starting at a much higher platform than those games did. And so this, in 3 years, as long as they get enough mod support, will be not even 3. There's already like DLSS mods, and there's all kinds of shit to make it look better. Maybe in a year it's gonna be fucking incredible. It already is incredible. They're just gonna, you can customize your whatever, your gameplay however you want. So I do want to talk about this a little bit. So fast travel has been, it's to the umpteenth degree. You can fast travel places you haven't been.
Whoa.
Not all of them.
Okay.
Because you need to upgrade your hyperdrive, basically. They call it a grav drive. But yeah, so you can just, but it makes sense because it would take so long. One person somebody on YouTube flew to the nearest star, and it took 7 hours. So obviously you can't do that. You have to grav jump. The space is there. Or if you're going to run around the planet, how long is that going to take? You have to put this in this game. Now, there are times where I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to run there. And so you'll try it, you just go for it. And, if it's close enough, you can do it. And it is rewarding because there's all kind of crazy shit in the middle. Never have I been running through and I've been like, I regret taking the long route. Both of them have one is the fast way and the other one's the rewarding way. Like, I enjoy them both.
What's funny is that I have two friends that are playing Starfield right now, and they're both in my D&D group. And one of them likes to play Bethesda games like stealthy and stuff like that. And he's been looking for a silencer in Starfield, and he's like level 12 or whatever. And he's like still hasn't found one. And meanwhile, the other guy, he likes playing a different way, and he found one at like level 3.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, how the fuck did you find one? And it turns out that the guy who hasn't found one just keeps fast traveling everywhere and just doesn't. He's like very much like a utilitarian person. Like he wants to get everywhere as fast as possible, get things done as fast as possible. So he's skipping over things that would, he would have been found one immediately if he wasn't fast traveling everywhere. So
yeah,
that speaks volumes.
I came up with a new theory for this game, and I don't know if it's true yet, but if you play Bethesda games, you know that you fill your pockets to the brim with whatever you can, and then you sell it. And that's like just a thing that Bethesda does. There's just like cabinets and drawers, and look at all this shit and trying to get it, things that cost a bunch of money so you could send it back. But this time I told myself, I was like, listen, self, like if you just get through the game, you'll make more money playing the game than spending all that time going through all those drawers. You know what I mean? And I think it might be true. And I think it's kind of paying off. I only pick up anything that's like 300 times its weight. So 1 pound, $300. I'm not going to pick anything else up for money. So
yeah, dude, but you're missing out on those ingots. Mistake. You're missing out on the ingots and becoming a blacksmith. Sorry, Bobby.
I feel like that was something that older games really pressed upon us, because I'm the same way. When I play Baldur's Gate 3 or Divinity, I'm always just grabbing everything that I can possibly
get.
Pack-muling. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like games like they try to push you away from that a little bit now and make it not as rewarding. And I don't know. It's kind of a crappy way to play the game. But yeah, I just feel like old games, it was that you always had to do that.
What's funny is I am, of course, I'm going strong guy, big stick. Dumb guy, big stick. And he can carry so much, and I still am sticking to this thing. Like I'm a literal pack mule.
It's one of the benefits of having high strength.
No, I know, dude.
And every RPG is be able to carry way more. Like I can carry like 3 times as much as Gale. And
I'm proud of you, dude. I'm proud of you.
And by the way, I haven't found the big stick yet. I'm still using there's only 2 melee weapons. It's funny. I can complain. I can be like, I like playing melee, but there's not enough melee, and there's no melee mods. I get that I'm a small majority or a small playing group. Like, yeah, they're not gonna make all this shit for fucking melee characters. But yeah, I'm a melee character. I'm wearing a Marines. I stole a Marines spacesuit, and it looks so metal compared to everybody else's spacesuit, and it takes more physical damage. And in case you guys somehow missed it, you can, like Legos, buy spaceship parts. Oh, people pay you in spaceship parts. Pull your spaceship apart and make anything you want.
Cool, dude.
It's
people
so fucking
make
cool.
ducks. People make all kinds of shit.
Yeah, whatever you want. Bobby, I'm really curious about your interest level on this game. At $14.99. They spent
it's not
$700
$14.99.
million making it. I would like
not-
to know
it's
your
not
interest at
$14.99.
$14.99.
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of forced to be interested now. I'm interested under duress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
under
don't know,
guilt.
man. I had like zero interest going into this. I'm not like
Yeah.
a huge fan of Bethesda games, but I was interested to see how it would play out and see how people enjoy it. I don't know. I mean, it's such a large, expansive game, and those are
It is.
cool, but it's just those usually aren't for me.
And I'll tell you this too, Bobby. I remember your major complaint on Skyrim was like having a hard time keeping track of what the main quest was. Holy
Mhm.
shit. Is there a lot? Like this is how you pick up a quest here in this game. No shit. And I like it. I think it's so cool. You pick it up in gossip. So you're walking by, you hear two people talking, you just lean in, you listen for a little while, and then boop, you got a quest. Like you're going
That's
off of,
amazing. That's such
it's
a good
so
idea.
good, dude. It's so good. And it works twofold. It works twofold.
That's in a bunch of games.
One,
What?
if you don't,
That's in a bunch of games.
What other
no,
games?
it's not, dude.
That's in Baldur's Gate, you idiots.
Like they're live talking while you walk
They're
by.
live talking, and if you're
Okay,
standing next to
calm
them, you can
down.
get shit about a game. I'm saying you're saying it's revolutionary. It's in games before this.
I think it's pretty good. I haven't seen it before. I'm not that
It's
far
in
in
one
Baldur's
game
Gate.
before this. It's in
Yeah.
one game before.
From 1 month ago.
It's definitely in other games.
I haven't seen it before. I've never taken note. I like multiple things about it. One, if you don't care about side quests, you just keep running. Who cares? Two, it makes you listen to more of the barks, which are kind of interesting, you know. Maybe there is no quest, but at least you listen to, you know, Susie can't get a babysitter, whatever. And then three, it's such an organic way. Like how, if you're new to a town, how would you? Yeah, you'd fucking listen to people talking.
Yeah,
It
It's
always
so
felt
cool.
a bit disjointed to like talk to the innkeeper and they give you the. But now with new technology, yeah, dude, you're set. Oh, I wanted to play this game and now I
Yeah.
really want to play it.
So that's a major way that you get quests. All right, so I'm running around town. Big monster planet, took off, went to do the quest. Quest is at a gigantic metropolis. So much shit there. 100 hours worth of shit there, probably, if you were to fucking just do that one town. So much stuff. But, you know, I'm doing a bunch of quests. I'm like on my 18th quest. At some point I go, all right, I'm tired of fucking talking to people. I want to go fucking kill stuff. I want to shoot stuff. Like, I'm tired. What do I have to do in order to get in space? Literally fast travel to my spaceship, hit escape or hit spacebar for takeoff, and now I'm in space. From space, one more fast travel to wherever I want to go. Now I'm exploring a fucking alien planet with aliens on it. Literally under a minute, if you're like trying to do it as fast as possible. Under a minute from doing stuff you don't want to do, you could be doing things you want to do or new things you've never done before. You can switch it up so quick, dude. It's fucking awesome. It's so good.
Can you do that in Baldur's Gate, Nicholas? I'm just joking.
I gotta go
fast
pee
travel.
so bad. I love this game.
Cool.
I think it's very good.
I'm
Somebody
definitely
else
gonna play it.
I'm
I'm definitely gonna play. I promise I'll play it. And unlike someone else, I actually will do it instead of a fucking piece of shit.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, I'll talk about a game that I've been playing for years. I said I would test something that was a problem with the release of the new DLC, and it turns out that problem is intended, and it's not much of a problem. It's more of a time sink now. So Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires is the culmination of all three games into one campaign. You can play as every race in the game and every commander in the game. Every commander has a different play style. Every race has a different play style. So there's a bajillion ways to play the game. The thing is, you get an achievement for beating the game on very hard or legendary difficulty. You get an achievement for beating it regularly, but you get an extra one for beating it on very hard or legendary. So I did every single achievement for that very hard or legendary for the second game, and I'm planning to do the same thing on the third one. On the last week's episode, I talked about if you try to do it on this game, it doesn't work if you achieve what is called a long victory, which normally takes between 90 to 120 turns, which is about 8 to 12 hours of playtime. So I was extremely frustrated when that did not pop up when I got a long victory achieved. It turns out that you have to do what is called an ultimate victory, which is a end of the world scenario happens and you have to do it. Someone suggested that you can turn off all the ultimate victories except for one, which is the easiest one to do, and simply camp out where all the stuff comes out of and kill it. That actually turns out to work. It kind of trivializes the ultimate victory. What it is 7 armies or 8 armies come out of one settlement in the middle of the desert. All you have to do is just, I don't know, send a couple of armies out there, kill them all, because they're one of the easiest factions to fight against, and take over the settlement, and then you win. So it's not that the biggest of deals, but if you don't know that and you're going into the game and you're trying to, get the achievement, you definitely will be blindsided. I think there should be like a middle ground. I don't think people should have to put in 90 hours to 100 hours to get some of these done. There's like it'd be easier to do a domination victory than it is to do some of the ultimate victory conditions. I would say you don't have to pick up any of the DLCs for this game to do it. One thing that may be coming to the game that the devs are talking about, and they talked about as a response to the DLC, because it's been extremely poorly received, is that they will be bringing some of the campaign specific mechanics from the previous campaigns into the Immortal Empires campaign. So for example, there is a mechanic when you play as the Chaos Dwarves where you control a giant drill, and whatever one of the Chaos Dwarf factions you play, you get more resources whenever you control the drill and things like that. When you play in Immortal Empires, none of that happens. So that just adds like more diversity and kind of uniqueness to every race. That every race has its own unique way to play. I'm still going to be playing this game. I'm not going to be playing it nearly as much as I did the last 2 weeks because
it would be impossible to do what you wanted to do originally, right? Which is beat the game with every race.
I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it like I did last time, where I did it all in like 4 months, 5 months. It's going to take probably a year or two. It took me 14 hours to do it for one race, which is, I think, the easiest race to do it with. So I may do like one a month, but I'm not going to be like cranking it out every single fucking week. I have other games to play.
I'm not an addict. I just do a little bit of drugs. I just do a little bit, and then
it's a little bit of work.
There's other games to play like Starfield and shit like that.
I'm not doing an ounce a week anymore. It's an ounce a month. It's
an ounce a month. It's just a bump, dude. But, definitely wait till this game's on sale before you pick it up if you're still thinking about it. Best Total War out there still.
It either stopped flying or it left. I don't know. That's the downside of opening your window.
Happy for you, dude.
Podcasting.
I'm glad you didn't die.
Remnant 2.
Remnant 2, I haven't talked about for a little while. This is the only game that I play with John, because why would you play anything else? It is one of the best co-op experiences, especially when you don't know how much time you're going to have. Obviously, if I had 3 hours, that Baldur's Gate would be the best choice. But when you have an indeterminate amount of time, Remnant is always the right choice. I told him, I was like, I think we're on the last level. He goes, nope, there's 3 more dimensions we haven't touched. And I was like,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this is the last level. And sure enough, it was the last level. And we got to the last boss. And what a cool last boss it was, man. You guys are watching the video maybe at this point. It switches between 2 bosses at the same time in real time. And you are in a 3D space. So you're fighting 2 bosses in one space, and it's randomly jumping between one and the other. And if you're not careful, you'll just fall through the world because there's a hole where there wasn't a second ago before it switched. And it's very, it discombobulates you. You don't, you're shooting in one place and then you have to shoot in another place, and attacks are coming from different angles. And it was an unsettling boss fight. And I say that as a credit to the devs. In these days where you're going up against 100,000 other bosses that have been done over the years, to do something, I don't know if it was original. Oh, you know what? It was like fighting phase 1 and phase 2 of a boss, which we've all done a million times at the same time. That's what it was.
Ooh.
And so, and randomly jumping back and forth. There's no set schedule. It wasn't like every 10 seconds. No, it was just like, oh, here's the other. Now you're not where you thought you were. And it's crazy when your buddy falls, and you got to go pick him up, and you're running and he's 5 yards away. And then all of a sudden he's 15 yards away. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, it feels so hopeless, Yeah, it was really well done. On top of that, I will say, so this game is built from the ground up to be replayable. Like, the whole thing is all about replayability. That what you can see that was one of their strongest motivators in making this game. And yeah, sure enough, like in the story, it's like, no, we need to reset everything if we're gonna. It's the only way not to lose is to reset everything. And so the story resets everything, and you start at the beginning again. And I think what ends up happening is, like I've told you guys before, you don't know what levels you're going to get. You don't know what universes you're going to get, or dimensions. You don't know what dimensions you're going to get. So with any playthrough, it just randomly builds it as every time you play. So you're hoping you're going to get one, and maybe eventually you beat all of them, and then maybe you get the true ending once you beat them all.
So you're excited to play this with John again because it has that level of replayability?
Yeah, I don't see myself ever stopping playing this game.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The top comment on that video you linked is not very flattering.
What's it say?
Well, it's got a lot of upvotes.
It is YouTube.
Yeah, it says this boss is just annoying, and then he goes into detail. He goes into detail on why that is. It looks like he says it's impossible to revive your teammate during the second or during phase 2, even if you have the modifiers.
I do want to talk about that a little bit. I would say, had I not got a particular item 20 minutes, 30 minutes before we fought that boss, we would have never got through the fight, especially because I made a melee build, and melee build is completely useless against this last boss. So the only thing that I could do was absorb damage. I'm a tank, and I got this item where if you activate it for the next 3 hits, instead of taking damage, you heal. I was unstoppable. I could not be killed. To the point where, like, John would die so much, and I'd be like, oh, we have to start over, because you don't get your rewards unless both people are alive when you kill the boss. So every time, one of us dies, the other person has to give up. And I would just stand there and just take the hits. I was so fucking tanky. And that's all we had going for us. For me, that's all I could. I mean, I could do some damage, but compared to John, he was doing all the damage. Hola. Good night, Luna.
Oh, good night.
Te amo. No sé. Okay,
For
bye
those
bye.
who don't know, a small child gave her dad a
Cierra la
kiss
puerta.
and said goodnight.
So wholesome. Very wholesome.
The best.
There's only wholesome moments on this podcast.
No. Wait till you get that,
Cierra la
Sniper.
puerta.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. It'll be worth all your free time being gone.
I'm
I'll tell you that right now. It'll be...
I'm excited. Is that all for Remnant 2, good sir?
Yeah, just the it was so casually started over. Like, you start over and none of the townspeople know the better. It's just like,
You wish there was something.
yeah.
Like,
I wish I was
okay.
something. A little
They should
something.
refer to
You
me
saved
as-
the world.
They should refer to me as, like, sir. At
Lord?
least.
Lord?
Could I have like a fancy hat or something?
Totally.
Something.
They give you a pretty
A pin?
Christian's in trouble now. Ooh, the
I'm in
door just got
trouble?
slammed.
I
Okay.
don't know.
All right,
Okay.
yeah, that's it for Remnant 2.
Plugs and subs. Patreon. You can support us on Patreon for $5 a month. And it's a new month, so, Emilio, at the end, before titties, I think it's time to shout out all the patrons again. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that if you got a list for me.
Perfect. The list is in the notes, of course. What do you get for $5 on the show? A thank you from us live on the podcast. We'll say your name. I mean, that's cool, I guess. You get access to a special channel on Discord with other people who support the show. You might get a sticker. Who knows? You also might get a t-shirt if I remember. I don't know about that. And you get the most important thing, a different color name on Discord. That's like the second most important thing, but yeah. You also get our undying love. So go to Patreon, dlgaming.net, $5 a month.
I'm being hunted. It's still here.
I just found out, literally 2 minutes ago, Counter-Strike 2 is supposed to release in the next 2 weeks. So interesting.
Damn. Let's go around the table. I feel like it's not going to have, God, I was going to say it's not going to have a crazy reception, but I think its reception is going to be more global than it is, a lot of the numbers that we see usually. Like tons of Russians, tons of other. Yeah. Anybody know what I'm trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think it's going to be one of those streamer games. Remember how Among Us was a big streamer game where everybody started watching Twitch again?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be one of those. Everybody's going to be like, "Oh, did you watch Counter-Strike
Twitch again?"
Yeah, you know how Twitch has ebb and flows of viewership, whether it be League of Legends, World Finals or whatever.
Is this something that happens, or is this something you feel, Nick?
No, because when League of Legends has big tournaments, the viewership spikes very hard. Same things with Counter-Strike tournaments or a big game like Among Us comes out or Starfield. Any kind of big release, there's always a huge influx of Twitch users, subs, all kinds of stuff.
So I pulled the Twitch viewership since 2013.
That was quick.
And I would disagree, but it's not important at all. You can see it. twitchtracker.com/statistics. Twitch stats are fascinating, by the way, and you can see it all there.
I mean, every business ebbs and flows, right? But
yeah, it's the whole point. But I think when it releases, like you said, it's going to be a lot more global thing because it's so fucking popular in Eastern Europe and Asia. But I don't think it's going to be super huge here at all. No.
I don't even know what the current state of Counter-Strike is right now, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
There's a lot of people that are just I'm waiting for Counter-Strike 2 to come out, and I'm not going to bother playing Counter-Strike Go because Counter-Strike 2 is coming out. I have a lot of friends that are I'm interested in playing Counter-Strike Go, meaning Counter-Strike 2, and I played a lot, over 400 hours of Counter-Strike Go, but I don't want to play Counter-Strike Go anymore. They want to play something new, and they don't want to play any of the old shit.
New take on it. Cool. All right, Bobby, who we got for Submarinos here?
Let's see. For subs, we've got Recycled coming in at 61 months, still holding the record, leading the charge. I say this every time, but we can always tell how long we've been on Twitch because he's been subscribing since the first month.
5 years and a month, man. Jeez.
Thank you.
Long time. All right, and next up we got Biblioclasm, 16 months. Not bad.
No recycling.
No, we don't get a. Yeah, no. Who's going to beat that? We don't get a lot of subs, but the ones that we do, they're consistent.
Yeah,
we appreciate that. All right, time for listener questions.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys really had to think about that.
I think Emilio got stung by a wasp.
The question is if Emilio is going to come back and be alive, or he's going to be needing an EpiPen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like how he just deadpanned. No, I'm actually not allergic. That was a good moment. I'm reminiscing about something earlier in the. How embarrassing. Okay, please go, Bobby.
All right. First question is from Zap. For Honor just got a Year 7 Season 3 update, and I can't believe it. Are there any ongoing games that you're surprised are still going?
Project Zomboid. Like, I can't believe that they're still updating that game. Is it
I
still
can't
in
believe
early
people
access?
are still playing it.
Yeah, man. It's like the most hardcore zombie game ever.
There are people that like run actual communities in that game, dude. It's nuts.
Yeah, dude, because
They're like Second Life it. It's nuts.
you can actually go in for the long haul. Most people die in, I would say 90% of people die in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some people survive for months in that game. They make a farm, they have fences, they have all these things, and you can make a community. Like Nick, you were saying, like you can invite people to your community and play online and have a whole Walking Dead type, thing going on. I don't know if like you get attacked by swarms periodically or how that works, but yeah.
Apparently, like in the game mode settings, like you can turn on like swarms and stuff like that. Like and like they will attack at certain times.
Yeah.
But if you turn on like the normal game mode, like they will just show up if you just make too much noise.
I think there's something to do with helicopters. I think the military comes in and they're an enemy as well at some point. So you got to watch out for that as well. But yeah, it's like it's a simulation. It's a zombie simulation. It's not, an arcade game.
I feel like the fucking like the entry to fucking ride in that game is so high though. Like you have to do so much research to last longer than like 3 hours. Because me and my buddy one time, we were playing together. We're like, all right, we're gonna fucking play this game, and we're gonna last longer than like 2 days.
Yeah.
Nope, we could not make it. And we ended up like joining a Discord, joining some people that actually play. Like this is the only game they play, pretty much, and they explain stuff. And essentially, with just 1 or 2 people, you can survive like maybe a week or 2 before the game like just crushingly will defeat.
Oh, you need more people, huh?
You just need more people, like
doing different things.
Yeah, your characters will get tired. Your characters will become like emaciated and things like that. You cannot maintain your character to do everything you need to be able to feed. Like you will run out of food, and things like that. Like you will starve to death. You.
Uh-oh. Lost Nick. I will say this about The Walking Dead and why that was a thing. The creator said that like, the movie is great. What happens after the movie? And so, something more long form. What happens after they survive?
TV show?
No, the comic book originally that got adapted into it. But yeah, like what happens
went on forever too.
What happens 8 years after the zombie apocalypse? Like either people will be there or they won't. If they are there, there's a story to be told. So that's why The Walking Dead is a thing. And I was a huge fan for sure. And I always play with the idea of reading the comics.
It's like anyway, Nick is just frozen.
So super frozen, dude. Either that or he had a heart attack.
Standing completely still.
Where's his super suit? All
right. So any other games that you're surprised are still ongoing?
Yeah. Do you guys have answers?
There's this game, browser based. One of the first games I played called Battle Dawn. I talked about a group of your team Kingdom.
Oh, you were surprised to see that they were still going, I guess.
Yeah, the original one on browser. It used to run on Flash, which I think has Flash been discontinued everywhere now. Like they've taken it off the internet.
It's not a thing for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you have any websites that still support it.
I needed to install something to run Battle Dawn in my browser. Like it's that old. It doesn't
like a Flash emulator.
Or I can't remember what it was.
Well, they made those when everybody was concerned that they're getting rid of Flash. They were like, well, what about all these crappy games we used to play on the internet? And so, yeah, there's emulators out there where you can do that.
Yeah, I was very surprised. And it still seems thriving. People are still paying tokens. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mentioned a long time ago that I had played Call of Duty 1 and I beat it. I played through the single player, but then out of curiosity, I checked out the multiplayer, and there was like, I think 300 people, maybe 400 or 500. There were hundreds of people still playing Call of Duty 1, and this was just no more than a few
impressive.
years ago. Yeah.
That's pretty
Dude,
cool.
that's nuts.
All
All
right.
right.
We got
Anybody
a few
else?
questions.
Nick, do you have an answer
Oh, did
to game?
Oh,
You're
what game is
surprised?
still going on?
Yeah.
I
I will. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I will say one thing for Honor. Apparently, it got better and better, and it's one of those few games that its afterglow was stronger than its initial spark. Wow, that was almost poetic. Yeah, it grew into a very good game, and
He's looking for a super suit again. Sorry, he's frozen.
when that game, he's gone. When that thing came out, dude, or no, when that thing got announced, I was like, this trailer blew my sock. I was like, what? Samurais versus knights versus what's the third one? There's 3 factions. Oh, Vikings. I'm like, historically inaccurate, but fucking comic bookly fucking accurate. You know, it's fucking awesome, man. And apparently, it didn't satisfy people when it came out, but eventually devs dialed it in, and that's why we're on season 7.
And we'll never know Nick's answer, unfortunately.
Yep. Welcome to Texas.
Will remain a mystery.
Yeehaw.
All right. A few questions from Morconius here. Now that Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield are out, what kind of RPG do you prefer? Modern first or third person action adventure RPGs like Starfield, Witcher 3, or Outer Worlds, or the turn-based CRPG of Wasteland 3, Baldur's Gate 3, or Pillars of Eternity?
That is a tough one, dude. That is like brunettes or blondes. It's like really depends on the day and what the last one I had was. I don't know. Yeah, not one can be better. I mean, there's so many levels to each one. I think obviously Baldur's Gate just kind of trumps them all, just because of so much that went into it. But I could see myself jumping back and forth between 2. I never play 2 RPGs at once. Can't do it. Too much story. But I could see myself playing Baldur's Gate and Starfield because there's enough action in Starfield to make it an action game if that's what you wanted to do. First person shooter, just straight up like fucking, so at least you have the option there. Bobby, what is your choice? Oh, and also you also play your Baldur's Gate Friday nights is still going strong.
No.
Oh
No. I've been getting home at like 5 o'clock from work. So yeah, I have not been able to do that, but I got to get it started again as things, well, not this Friday because I'm actually working somewhere else. I'm taking a day off at work so I can work somewhere else.
Nice, dude.
it's called live life balance, Bobby. If you're not enjoying it now,
Is
you're
it
not
called
going to
the
enjoy it.
live? Is it called the live life balance? I don't know if it's called that. I don't know if that's what
is.
it's called.
Oh, no, it's not called. It's called a work-life balance.
Live life balance.
That's,
The other time.
Oh, I'm so glad you came in just in time to make fun of me there.
That's why I'm here.
oh,
I'm the fucking goblin of the podcast and make sure to say wrong things.
I do enjoy my work though, so I don't know. It's not terrible. I wouldn't spend so much time doing all this stuff if I didn't like it. But as far as this goes, I don't really have much of a preference because I don't know.
Depends on the game, right?
Yeah. Honestly, like it really depends on what game is better because there's good CRPGs and bad ones, and there's good adventure RPGs and bad ones. I don't know. I can't pick. I do enjoy both.
I can't pick either.
And Nick doesn't have enough internet to pick.
Between the two CRPGs and between the two of them, I'm gonna go with games like Starfield.
Yeah.
It.
You mean the worst game in the world, Nick, that nobody wants to play?
I didn't say it's the worst game in the world. I did not say that.
Big question though. Why aren't you playing it? I am curious.
I haven't beat Baldur's Gate. I have Armored Core to play. I have too many other things, and I am committing to what I said at the beginning of the year. And I'm not gonna buy more than fucking 3 games to play at a time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have no reason to spend $70 to sit on for the next month and
Guess
not
what?
play something.
This one's free.
It's not fucking free.
It's not
Game
crack.
Pass is
It's
dude. I have
a little bump of Starfield.
Christian, are
just
you
gonna
gonna
buy
play
it on
this?
Steam.
I know you haven't installed it. Are you gonna play it, Christian?
Starfield? Yeah,
Yeah.
since it's on Game Pass, I think I'm gonna give it a whirly poo in between my games of Ozymandias.
Don't get bogged down, dude. There's so much. Just
just
do
got-
whatever you think sound like fun. That's it.
I want to
Don't
do the
worry.
ship. I love the ship designer. Like I've watched
You
so
gotta-
many videos on it.
You got to make money. So if just talking
You
as a
gotta make
novice
money,
here,
kid.
if you do all the quests in town, you'll walk away with like a lot of credits. And I think that's literally where I am right now. I did like 20 quests, and I just got back to the starport, and I'm gonna start right now. I'm like playing Legos. So
Nice. Perfect.
All right. Final question from Warconius. A movie question. What's the one movie from your childhood, age 5 to 7, that really formed your tastes and you still think of today? Indiana Jones is that movie for me. I mean, I don't know if we need to do 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
I
from
remember when
ages
I was
5 to
watching
7.
5 to 7.
You don't remember?
Boy, I would say E.T. was huge for me. It was gigantic. I think it was this. I don't know, Bobby. You would know better than me. If I was like 9 or 8, would that be the second release of E.T. or the first one? Do you know?
For you, I think
Yeah,
because
I'm
ET came
45.
out like 83.
Yeah,
wanna say.
that would be the
It might-
first time then.
Yeah, it might
Right?
have been a little earlier than that, but yeah, ET was like early 80s. It was like 81, 82, or 83.
Anyway, it fucking scared the living shit out of me. And I went to saw it at the theater. My dad never took me to theater. My dad was a workaholic. Go figure. And the only reason he took me to the theater is because he did work at that theater, and we had free tickets all the time. We could just go whenever we wanted. And we went there, and it's so funny because I was so scared I could not watch the movie. I was kind of averting my eyes, But at the same time, at the end of the movie, when guess what? E.T. phones home and he has to leave. It was the saddest thing I'd ever seen in my whole life. So I couldn't. I was bawling like a baby, wailing like a baby. But I didn't want to do it in front of my dad, so I kept going to the bathroom, to the men's bathroom, and crying. And guys were like, "Are you okay?" Like.
Someone hitting you?
And I'm just
ET photo.
crying. I'm crying. Yeah, ET photo. And I remember that it happened twice. I was bawling in the stall, and I went back to the movie to try to like man up.
Watch
and
the
I
rest
had
of
to
it.
go back to the bathroom and cry more, dude.
That's
it's
formative
crazy.
as fuck.
Yeah, that's crazy that both of those, I was scared of aliens for years. And then also, like, I never cried like that ever. Probably maybe still until maybe when my grandma died.
Wow.
E.T. and my grandma dying.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Have you watched it again as an adult?
No, but the scene that always sticks with me is him lying in the river when he's like out of powers and kind of dying, and he look. I use that reference all the time. I'm like, dude, when somebody's having a real bad hangover, I was like, dude, you look like E.T. when they found him in the river. Like he's like,
He's all fucked up.
yeah.
Oh,
He's all
that's
pink.
a really touching story, dude. That's
Yeah, I don't know if I can follow that up.
yeah. I can't follow it up, but mine is Star Wars. I mean, it's really informed my taste of like books and
Real original, Chris. Real
Yeah,
original.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, everyone.
very quickly. Sorry, don't want to shit on your parade, but did you know that Admiral Thrawn is in the newest show?
Yeah, I
Who would have
know
guessed?
that they've included him. Yeah, I have thoughts, but we don't have to get into it here. Not Star Wars. Have you guys ever seen that movie Prince of Egypt?
Dude, you mean one of the greatest non-Disney animated films of all fucking time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so good.
One of the only good religion movies of all
Wait,
time.
is that the one with Mariah Carey and
Is Mariah Carey in it?
yeah, Mariah Carey. No,
Yeah.
the singer, Mariah Carey, and the greatest singer of my generation,
Cher.
Whitney Houston.
Oh, wait.
They
Yeah,
both
Whitney
sing
Houston's in it
together
too.
and they do a duet, dude. And
Honey,
it's a
is Mariah
tearjerker.
Carey in Prince of Egypt?
She is. And we all do.
I'm looking at the cast and I don't see it. But anyways, not informed maybe my but informed my
It's not the
musical
cast,
taste.
dude, because they did a song for it. She wasn't in the cast.
Just
Yeah.
one song. Just one song. I understand.
Yeah.
But like my taste of music and like I just love theater music ever since then. And I feel like not a lot of other people I meet appreciate that. And I feel like it's because I watched that movie when I was really little.
Bobby, as a film buff, you kind of dismiss animation a bit, yeah? It's
No.
you
No, I love
absolutely do.
animation.
You never talk about animation. Maybe?
Do I? No, I
don't know.
Dude, I watched cartoons for way too long into my adulthood. Like now, and I watched like a lot of like cartoon TV episodes, but no, I love animation. And
I'm talking about I guess I'm talking about animated movies. They don't rank as high as like
Well, I mean, a lot of
movie.
animated movies are made for kids, so I mean, they're really not that entertaining to me as an adult. But there's still some really good ones out there.
Either way, what do you think of Prince of Egypt? Do you remember it?
I've never even seen that movie. Like,
Bro,
Never seen it.
dude. It's a
Yeah.
bang. I watched that shit in Hebrew class.
Oh,
That shit
nice,
was
dude.
wild.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was good.
I recently watched it. I don't think the movie holds up, but the soundtrack still send chills down my spine.
I mean,
it's just
it's
like
a-
memories like that.
It's
It's
the
a
only
story
time
of
when
Moses.
Total flashback here. Didn't we talk about this once before on the podcast? I'm having
don't
like
know.
total deja vu.
it like look at us, dude. We're all excited because one, it's a good movie. I think the animation was ahead of its time, and Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey did a duet.
They did. Yeah.
They did a duet.
Yeah, they did. I looked at it.
Like the two who's better, like what's going on, the ultimate no, let's work together and use our powers for God.
For God.
Yeah.
It is definitely one of the best non-Disney animated films of all time.
Yeah, I agree. At least for the time. I don't know if it holds up.
Bobby, you want up next or you want me to do it?
Oh no, go ahead.
Mine was Indian in the Cupboard. I didn't watch it when it came out because I was 3, but that movie fucked me up as a kid when I was like 6.
What is that?
You've
I've
never
never
seen
heard
Indian
of
in the
this.
Cupboard?
I don't remember.
It's about an
It's one of-
Indian in a cupboard.
Oh, great. Thing.
Jesus.
Is he on a motorcycle or is that mouse on him? Never mind.
No. So the Indian in the Cupboard is about a boy who has a small. It's not the greatest of movies, okay, but when you watch it as a child, it teaches you some lessons. It taught me a lot of shit that cultures are different, obviously, and teaches you a lot of respect for things. And it does not have the best of endings. It's a kids movie. It's a kids movie that does not have a happy ending, right? It deals with death. It deals with a lot of other shit. And I think that's why it didn't have the warmest of responses when it came out. It's about a kid who has like these toy cowboys and Indians, right? And he has a cupboard. When he puts toys in there, they come to life. And the thing is, these toys have their own memories and they have their own experiences. And this Indian is Native American, has his own story. He has his own family and he misses them. And he's like, I don't want to be your fucking plaything. He's like, and so it discovers that idea of this child's wonderment and idiocy to this this Native American's actual life.
Yeah.
That he perceives to have. And when you watch it as an adult, you're like, well, you don't have a life. You're a plastic toy.
Yeah, it's
But
the caricature of a culture versus the emotions and lived in feelings of that culture.
Yeah, but you quickly learn to as weird as it sounds, you end up siding with the toy because the kid's fucking an idiot. But
I'd always say it under your voice, dude. Yeah. Obviously, the Native American gets The tougher life, dude, for sure.
But if you ever got an hour and a half to kill and you want to watch a good movie, watch Indian in the Cupboard.
Dude, when I read this ahead of time, I 100% thought that you were going to say Werewolf in Paris or American Werewolf.
yeah.
I talked about it 1,000 times. You fucking know because of that.
I had no idea. Zero. It's so funny because it's a 0 on my scale because I don't remember it, and then it's 1,000 on your scale because you couldn't sleep for months.
This was the first time I saw boobs. I saw someone get fucking their face ripped off. There's so many highs and lows in that moment in history,
many
dude.
Formative memories.
Chad was there. There's another dude that was there. My brother was there. I had to sleep on your mom's house. It smelled weird.
What's your movie,
weird,
Bobby? Give us your movie. What's going on? 5 to 7.
It's nothing exciting.
Oh,
I don't know. No, I mean, there's a ton of movies that I saw.
Formative.
Formative. I don't know. I'm just going to go with a generic one. Another Spielberg classic, Jurassic Park. Because when I saw that movie, that's when I really started to like movies, I think.
Yeah.
I had seen like other movies that had kind of formed maybe my tastes or my fears in certain ways. But like, I don't know. Jurassic Park, I remember seeing that multiple times in the theater. Everybody at school. I remember always talking about movies with the people I went to school with too. And that one just like, I don't know. That was like a turning point for me with movies. That's when I really liked movies. So that's kind of the one I always attribute to. And I read the biography of Spielberg, and I kind of got this idea that a lot of people will kind of like make fun of you for liking Spielberg movies because he's very schmaltzy, and he really plays up that angle, especially with kids. But I don't know. There was nothing better than like a Spielberg movie as a kid. Like he had that magic.
Recently we were watching only the very beginning of the third revamp of the reboot of Jurassic Park, right? The 6th movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Yeah. I think.
Yeah, there's 3 of them now.
Okay, so we're watching the first few minutes, and you're watching the dinosaurs, and they don't like blow your socks off. It's like in movies, you're to the point where whatever you're looking at, like it looks real. So at a certain point, you're not impressed anymore, and at a certain when Jurassic Park happened, I feel like it'll never happen again because you were convinced that that's what dinosaurs look like. Like they fucking nailed it. Like that is, oh my God, there's a dinosaur. And if you go and watch Jurassic Park now, it doesn't hold up because now you're watching on high def screen. We were watching it was built for like a low res life, and they only had to make it this believable. You know what? Is anybody following what I'm trying to say while I'm drunk?
You know what? I just experienced this day before yesterday. Me and Leslie were watching a movie. It's called The Fog with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah.
And it's not made to be in 4K, right? And you can see like the pores on the guy's face from having chicken pox and all this other shit. But like one of the things is there's a scene where a guy gets his eyes poked out, but when he's a body and he gets back up, you can clearly see that his eyes are just painted black. Yeah. But back then, all they had to do was do that because the resolution of the screens, you couldn't see that. So,
dude, you watch Aliens in 4K and you're like, oh, why are they playing with toys? Like you can see the toy spaceship come up to the toy planet and pick up the toy people. You're like, why are they playing with toys? It's like, it's so obvious, but we had such low res screens. You can't blame them because they were just making it for the technology at the time. But yeah, it was a completely different thing, man. But dude, Bobby, I think in a way, Bobby, you won because like it made you a fan of film. Yeah, in a way, that is pretty cool.
I don't know. I feel like everybody's probably got that story. It was a pretty big movie, but rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully
Typical.
So.
Jesus, what a Spielberg fan answer.
It made one of Emilio's family members obsessed with dinosaurs until he was like 24.
Who are we talking about?
Jacob.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was gone by that.
Typical.
All right. What's everybody playing next week?
Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah.
So what was
It's
the
sad to say, dude, but Baldur's Gate is a retirement game for me. You know, there's no way that I could do the 5-hour sessions I want to give it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's my reason for not.
Yeah, fuck off, dude.
Sure, pal.
Right. If someone picks up Void Crew, I might check that out. I'd be down to play that one with somebody.
It's funny when he said someone, I also heard they were named Christian at the exact same time somehow.
I mean, I'll extend the invitation to all our listeners too, but Christian,
in.
definitely.
If you guys do it, well, see, I don't have time. Never mind.
We had so much fun last time we played Pol. I still remember it. When I made that video of us playing Polestar, and Emilio called the big laser the big lipstick. I mean, that's a good memory. I would love to play with you guys. That sounds awesome. And Nick too. Us 4. It's a 4-player game. Why not?
Maybe.
Okay.
Are you a Star Trek fan at all, Nick?
Leslie is, so therefore by proxy I am, because I have to be.
All right. And we're signing out. So speaking for Bobby, Christian. Oh, it's all right here on the screen. I don't have to go off memory. I can read it. Speaking for Bobby, Christian, Nick. I can do it backwards. Nick, Christian, and Bobby. Fucking Pulsar. Lost Colony. Titties, everybody. Bye.
Oh shit! This button is so far away from the
I was gonna do the fucking thing, dude.
Yeah, do it. All
right, here we go. Kurtle, Ben, let's ride bikes. Neil Sprung, remotely here. BMN, Blunt, Jacob Sirungaonashura, Ben Archibald, Tattoo Terror, Gabriel Grieve, Jamie Burcham, Beboom, Hingo McRingleberry, Hector, Zap, Adrian, Peter, Scram TX, Tom, JP Diddy, Hoggleflash, Carl, Sunken for Life, Ben, Patrick, Smith, Dustin Simmerins, Longfellow 110, Warconius, Raging Cajun, Caddy P, Mikhail Roskorowski, Recycled, Tagloro, High Performance Group, Rubber Nuts, Hazard Pay, Jan, Kegs, Pyronical, Tanner Sprangle. I don't think the last 6 months of people are on there, dude. There's a lot of new names you haven't put up.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll go back and I'll see. I thought they were all on there. My bad. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.